All right. Last time we left off, we we're trying to get this thing to advance. I don't know. Anyway, I had a breakthrough. It auto advances now. All right. I'm right about to take out the print statements and take a look to see if this goes uh, a little bit faster by itself because I think we saw one of the previous times that this was slowing down everything. So I'm going to try that out over here. Okay, so that works. I feel like it needs to be a tiny bit smoother. And then you do have to use your jump abilities. All right, and then this thing has to be greater than. So if is equal to or greater than self player position. And I is equal to n tile. Count is equal to self. Count is equal to player position. C is 7. I feel like it would be greater than or equal to. See if this works. Might not. Yeah. It didn't. So count. All right, and what's the end tile? If I equals self.end tile. So maybe it's that. Yeah, it just seems a little shaky. Okay, so that works. Just seems a little. We could probably get away with the shakiness because people are used to a little bit of screen shake. As long as we could pair it with some type of like really good sound effect or something like that. It's like doom 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 doom, and then maybe have like something with the dash jump, over there. So let's see how to do that. Um, Is that ready yet? Maybe. So this thing is just changing the C value. It says rect fill. I wonder if it's like a sprite fill or something like that. Should I fill it up with a sprite? I don't know. Let me take a look. So I'm looking up for sprite fill. Hello, everyone. Okay. Hi. Just in case, just in case I say something. Oh, sweet. Awesome. Um, yeah, no, Pico8 is really awesome. All right. So I think I'm gonna go with the sprite for the dash jump and then some type of sound effect, Lua ran on Pico8. Yeah, Pico8, or Lua is the language by default to use Pico8. Originally, the creator was going to go with Basic to emulate one of the older emulate one of the older systems that had came with Basic as a basic interpreter, but he decided to go with Lua because that's what it got compiled to under the scenes, and um, and then it's it's like a modern embedded language. What is the streamer wearing? Me? These headphones, Corsair headphones. All right, so I think I'm going to, I believe, Python experience and some other experience like Bash. I was in that same position, and I personally like Lua a lot. The only thing it's very similar, very extremely similar to JavaScript, ES5 style. Uh, the only difference is there's only a couple of differences. One that does stand out is it's one based instead of zero based. That's the major difference. The thing I really like about Lua, specifically programming on the Pico8, I like Bash a lot too. Bash is awesome. Um, One thing I like about programming on the Pico8, and Lua specifically, but is this ability to have objects, right? So you have this function that starts off the level, for example, and then this starts the object, in which case you could have the data, you can have your functions, which are, it has first class functions. So that update refers to that function as a member of that object. And then everything in there references itself. So like this end position is this end position defined up here, and then that is contained inside of that object. But the really great thing about that is you could put that in a loop and you can generate n number of objects that you want to represent anything. I don't know if I have an example of that over here, but I could show you. So every time that this update runs, so update runs at 60 frames. I have it set to 60 frames a second, 60 times a second for update, and then draw comes right after that. I'll run all of the updates for all of the objects. This case is being every single level gets its own object. Can bump up the fonts. Okay, you got it. Let's preferences. I'm sure it's here somewhere. Just give me a sec. I know this is the most interesting thing of looking around while I find the font sizes. Yeah, that was how it was. So you init the function, and then afterwards you just keep running these update things. So the init happens at the top, and then all the function running happens at the like in the body of the function. Let me zoom the screen for stream purposes. I'll have to custom font. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay, that's a little bit. All right, maybe. Okay. That kind of like makes the font look weird. It's a little bit better, but yeah, I think that's good. All right. All right. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Now I have to exit this thing because I'm using Vim over there. So then I gotta load that one, and then I'll go over here just so we can see this a little bit better. There we go. All right. So I would like. I believe it's that, and then this is in the background. So I think I want this thing in the background, and then I want like just like 3 lines to show like you're dashing. Okay, they're not even. Maybe I'll just move this one closer over here. Get rid of this one. And then I might not be able to make them even, but I might just be okay with that. Okay, that looks good. Okay. And now let me save that. And I believe I have to edit it over here. E, okay, got it. And reset that back. So now I have to load the sprite in the second level, or in level 1, which is the first dimension. Here we go. Only if you've just recently done a dash jump. So then I'll make another thing over here. It'll just be like dash jump. Timer, handle dash jump mechanic, self dot dash jump equals true. And then over here, in the draw function, if self dash jump, self dot dash jump. All right, well, so you got self dot dash jump, but we need the player position. Count equals self dot player position. Count is local over here, though. And we have the player position over here. But I know that dash jumps always jump over 2 spaces because of this one. No, they didn't jump over 4 spaces. Okay, so you could just take the current position and subtract 4 from it, and then set that's set that equal to the sprite. And I think I'm going to get rid of that, put that over here. If self.dash jump. Yeah. Okay, if self.dash jump, do the thing. Oh no, there's no that. It's if then, and then else do that. And okay, so if we're in the middle of a dash jump, we want to SPR. Actually, no, we want to advance this thing also. So this is actually going to go SPR over here. And we still want to rectfill the current position because rectfill handles the current player position. So now we just need to SPR this. And I'm pretty sure I have SPR defined over here. This is the credits. And these are all the people that were contributing to the design on the last game. So I took the credits scene and moved it over to this one. And that's the only place I have. Okay, so we've got SPR, sprite number left, and yeah, okay, so that's the location of where that sprite is. So this sprite is over there, 0. 0, 0, but it's like larger, I think, than that. So 0. Draw the sprite range starting at 1, 1. At 60, 60. All right, so I have the position of where this is going to go. Right over there. All right, can't see with this thing. All right, so the position of where it's going to go is this thing right here. Actually, I could turn this into a value. But it's not going to be here. It's going to be a few behind this. So this is x1. Actually, I'll put that over here. Local x1. X1, and then this is, I believe this is X2, right? I honestly don't remember. I think it's, yeah, X1, Y1, X2, Y2. That's probably it. So local X2 equals that. And then I'll put that over here, X2. And then sprite is 0, comma, X1 minus, I know it's 4, but it's 4 positions, and if each position is 8 times 4, 32. And then y, I guess 64. I don't know. We'll see if that works. Okay, so that's if it's self dash jump, render that sprite over there, and then do that. All right, we'll see if that works. Yeah. Okay. Not exactly what I was thinking. Probably because we're loading the whole sprite sheet to get that title. All right, not what I wanted. All right, so I gotta relocate the sprite sheet somewhere else. Oh, okay, there we go, right over there. All right, so this position is 253, so I need 236 over there, so I can move it over there. Let's see, maybe I can cut it. There we go. And paste over there. Cool, sweet. All right, so then I can go for 236 over there. All right. Yeah, all right. Syntax error. All right, well, I know what I did. So if I have this over here, okay, so now I can load this again. And then I can edit it. Okay, sweet. Got it. Now, now I got to change that from 0. So I got to edit it, E. And then I got to edit that to 236. Load that and run. Okay. So far, so good. Oh, okay, because it never reset. But then it blanked them all out because it's running in a loop. That's why. So this one has to come out of the loop. It's not going to get the benefits of X1 and X2. So I could probably put that back in direct fill, but I mean, eventually I'll have to put it back because this is using up extra tokens. So let me get this out over here. Self-jump out of over here. And that's outside of the for loop. This is showing up as red syntax highlighting because it's not catching this like one-liner, I believe. Yeah. So, yeah, so I got to get that out of the loop. So, all right, so if the dash jump is true, and then everywhere else it's going to be false. Self.allow timer is false. Okay. So I got true everywhere, and then I got false everywhere else. Now, if self jump x1 32, Okay, I think it's ready to try out, except for this thing. This is local. I don't know if this is locally scoped to the function or locally scoped to the for loop, but either way, I have to figure out where to place this thing, and it's gonna have to be 32 pixels behind the last one, I think, or maybe it's 8 pixels behind the last thing. Yeah, it might be like 8 or 10 pixels behind the last thing. Yeah, I think that's what this 10 is referring to over here. All right, so it's got to be 10 pixels behind the current position. So we need the current position of the player. And I think the player position is it's an integer multiplied by 8. So we could use player position, but it's going to be position within this large you know, within this large thing, because each block is going to be 8 of them. It's going to be this large like tape that you're moving down past. I don't know. I got to put something here. So I'm just going to start it off with, yeah, I'm just going to do player position, self dot. Player position multiplied by 8, and just see how it goes from there. It's going to be, the count is going to be off, but maybe I'll get there. All right. Yeah, yeah. That's almost what I want. But, you know, it advances too far. So it's got to be in between. It's got to be what the player position used to be a couple of lines over. So we gotta have something like that. So whatever the player position. Well, I mean, we're doing this whole calculation over here. All right, space is over there. Space equals plus equals 2 is 10. I see. So the player position is only used for calculating where in this long tape the color is. I might just have to get rid of this for loop, honestly, because it seems at this point it seems to be hurting more than helping, because I have to work around it. So yeah, probably gonna have to redo that whole entire thing. All right. So let's do that then. Let's redo the entire drawing of how this level works. And then theoretically I could replace it with sprites if I wanted to, but all right. So it's going to start off as a grid of, or a 1D array of a whole bunch of stuff, a whole bunch of blocks, and then each one has to be colored in over there. So I don't know. I go back and forth on this all the time, where it's like, on the one hand, you want to extend it out, but on the other hand, you just want to, um, say, okay, well, this is kind of working, so let's just go with this. But I think this is the third or fourth time I've run into a problem with this, doing it this way. But this is like redrawn on every single frame, which when I'm doing printing ends up slowing it down. So either I can draw initial over there. Initial items go here, initial 1D grid. This draw function has to run every single time. You know what I could do? I could do two loops. I could do the main loop over here that advances this, and then I can have another secondary loop that handles the player positioning. That's what I could do. So that's one. And then this loop will handle player positioning inside of the first loop. And then this rect fill will be drawn there, right? Space I self T. Oh, but then I have to worry about advancing it. Okay. Well, now I'm not sure if that's going to work. Okay. So now I'm going to go back on the other side. Maybe this isn't so bad. Maybe I can get away with just doing this one. This does appear on the outside, so all I have to do is somehow get the positioning to where this actually appears. When it appears, if you have a self dash jump. So if you have a self dash jump, save some type of value over here. So this is local dash location equals 0. Is PICO8 a coding language? No, PICO8 is the development environment or the engine, the game engine that I'm using. The language is Lua, so it's you write your program in Lua, which goes over here in the code editor. It's actually self-contained. I just prefer to use Vim over here, but all of the code is self-contained over here. It's got an editor. It's got a sprite editor. Then it's got a map editor where you can use those sprites in your map. And then it's got a sound editor. And then it's got a music editor. Yeah, I'm trying to learn Lua. Got any tips? Yes. So for Lua, Lua is exactly like JavaScript, ES5 style JavaScript, except that there's only a couple of differences. One of the big ones is it's one based instead of being zero based, but otherwise it's got a lot of the same uh, type of loops. It's single threaded. It does have like where you can kind of where you program at a diagonal, but not exactly, especially not with Lua, or especially not with the Pico 8. But Pico 8 is a great utility for learning Lua. It does Pico 8 language does differ a little bit than standard Lua. It's Pico 8 flavored Lua, and you have a lot of built-in functions that only do stuff in Pico 8 because they're defined for Pico 8. Like you'll see the button handling, right? Getting a button, that's a built-in. When you call update, there's update or update 60. I use update 60 right now. This gets automatically called. Underscore update 60 gets automatically called 60 times per second. And then draw gets called right after that. Draw is always called directly after update 60. The only other then another difficulty about Pico 8 is it's you can have multiple files in the code editor, but they all get jammed together when it actually gets run or when it gets exported. So um, since I use Vim and then import it in, it all goes into one file. So I just put everything in one file, but I can kind of open it up in separate tabs, and sometimes I'll do that. What else? Yeah, and it gets called at the beginning um, to initialize all of the variables you want to use and everything, and then it doesn't get called again. The entire program, your entire thing has to fit inside of like 16K over here. See, compress size 23, but they give you the character count. You can't exceed that limit. But the major thing that you're going to run into is the token count. And I think that like commands and like functions and everything access tokens because it's supposed to emulate like you're constrained on space, you're constrained on colors and all this other stuff. But I like it a lot because it is uh, it allows me to make a game. This is the first engine that I've used where it was like, or the first time where I felt powered to make a video game. And I've been playing video games for a long time, but I never was able to like make one. And then I saw a tutorial on YouTube, and I was like, I could make a game. So that was it. Yeah, I like Lua a lot. Um, I've even started writing Lua functions or Lua functionality inside of Nginx for um, so I didn't need a backend. I was just like, okay, well, I have Nginx. I only need to do like two things that are like programming related. Um, I'll just see if I can get Lua in there, and I got Lua in there, and it was like, well, and it was great because I was already familiar with Lua from doing this. So yeah, I definitely recommend, highly recommend it. Minecraft times drone. I program plugins for Minecraft servers. Was the plugin written in Java or written in Lua? Uh, critical to top G. All right. Okay, so I was gonna capture the location over here. Oh, is there in Java? It was written in Java, but it got so to learn Lua and how to code with it. Yeah. I've heard, I haven't experienced it myself, but I've heard that Lua is like a plugin for like scripting different video game engines. You know, uh, I I do plan on moving away from this engine, but I do want to get this game finished first before I do that. I've heard of Love 2D though, so it's like, I guess it's like the next step to making a video game, but it uses Lua also. It has its own built-ins. It's very similar to this, but you can do more stuff with it, and it kind of runs on the machine instead of running in an emulator on the machine. So I was going to look into that also. It's called so this is the Pico8. I'll just send you the link in the chat over here. So that's a Pico8, and then there's Love 2D also. That's probably the next one that I'm going to try to look into after this one. All right. All right. So I want to capture the player position because I have all the information I need for the player position. Eventually, this gets put into this. Okay. So if the count is equal to the player position, C is 7, then I'm going to need the player position. The player position is referenced by this. So dash location equals 0. And then yeah, I guess I'm going to need dash, probably call it dash x and dash y. Dashy, tweak, Shellington. Okay, so dash, whoa. So dash x is equal to x1 and dash y, or dashy is equal to 64. Dashy is always going to be 64, so I probably don't need that. So I probably just need dash location, or dashy. Or dash x. Okay. Space I plus I times 10 I self. But is that the player position? No, it's if count is equal to that. So really I have to move these all the way up here. Is there anything that I need from there? Space I self.t. No, I can move all these up here. All right, so then if count is equal to the player position, then I have to make this a multi-line statement. Then C is equal to 7 and dash x equals x1. Get rid of it over here. That'll set the value over there, and then I can do this minus 32 because I'll have the player position. Okay, so we'll see if that works. Jump. All right, I might have a syntax error somewhere over there, but I don't know, maybe not. We'll see. It'll let me know. Guess not. Okay. Oh, there it is. Yes, that's... So it doesn't have to be 32. It has to be like, minus 8 or something, or minus, I don't know, 16 or something like that. But it's very close. Combine that with a little swoosh sound or something like that. It'd be pretty cool. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Probably just needs I don't know, minus 10 or something like that. It's not 100%. There's something weird about it. Yeah, that could be tightened up a little bit. It's like, it's not minus 10. It looks like it has to be like minus 12. That's the first issue. And the second issue is the sprite looks off. Probably because I'm only grabbing like one section of it. So I'm going to try this for a second, and then I'm going to go a little bit further. Yeah, there we go. All right, so 12 is the magic number. Okay, so 12 is the magic number. Now we got to do, write that, load, and then go over here. Okay, all right, so it's only getting one of those. I think it uses up the whole, no, it doesn't use up the whole thing. Okay, so that's the problem. You're just seeing this, and that's right in the center. So I could probably get away with just one of those things then, if that's what it looks like, and then go at like the top, right? Because the background is just going to blend in. So I'll probably get rid of all that. And then go with this one. So then that's going to go on the top. Probably 2 lines at the top. Nope. No. Yeah, there we go. Go 3 lines. Oh, but I can't go directly in the middle like that. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. See what that looks like. Okay. I'll just have to edit that one. E. Okay. And then say, oh, save. Then E. And then run this. Oh, and then I have to, I think it was 253. There we go. I gotta set this sprite value equal to 253. And then go over here. Okay, so now it's just a little bit higher than I want. So that's 64. It looked like I needed to go like a few down. 68, I don't know, let's go to 70. It might be too much, but we'll see. Yep. Okay. So 64, 66. Looks different if you dash from here. Looks different. The further away you get, it gets closer. Oh man, that's strange. That's very strange. because we're just going by 12 by default, and this thing is changing or something like that. All right. I mean, it's such a small effect, you know. It's like it's a little blip. Problem is, it is a blip, and it's not like a smooth transition either, because like the other one is kind of the regular jump is I feel like it's a little bit of a smoother transition, right? This, you know. Yeah, and that advancing rate is too fast also. So let's slow that down. Okay. Okay. So now it's every 2 seconds, which is, you know, better, gives you a chance to think. Yeah, that's a little bit smoother than this. But that's still not that bad. It just still shows swooshing. The problem is the sprite is just not the best. This can be improved. This line is it's too thick in the middle, and the top one is too thin. But what I could do is I could move it down like that. I can't really do that though. I could have some type of diagonal coming off of it, like you know, like a out there. You can kind of see it over there. Yeah, I like that. All right, I'm gonna try this one. I may have to edit one of those things. Save. And then, all right, so we're going to 60. 6, 67. Yeah. No, actually, 65. There we go. That's pretty good. It needs to cross, it needs to be a little bit longer, honestly. It has to cross in front. So I gotta look up how to stretch the sprite out. Okay. Draw sprite range starting at sprite 16, 3 wide, 2 high. So I want at 20, 50. Okay, so 3 high. So I want 1 high. Yeah, 3 wide. So I want 2 wide, 1 high. Okay. And then this sprite has to be a tiny bit larger. All right, and then this one's got to be 252. Oh, Well, I can't edit one on one screen and then the other. So let me save this and then we load it. Then I'll go over here and edit. Copy this over here. That, and then okay, so you're going over this way, too wide. And starting at 252. Okay. All right, save that and edit here. And 252. All right, and then load it back over here. Okay, so that's like close. Okay. Actually, I don't know if we need the gray at all because it might be transparent because everything else up behind it is being drawn over as blocks. So save that. And load it here so I don't forget. Yeah, there we go. That's it. All right, now I just gotta wait a couple of seconds so that this thing advances, and then you go over here. That's it. It's like the tiniest effect, but you know, it shows visual progression going from left to right. Because without it, it just looks super janky, and you can't determine where on the screen this thing is moving. It just kind of looks like going like this instead of going like that. Yeah, it's a very slight effect, but when you're in the center of the screen, it you know, it really makes it. All right, so now now that's done, we need a sound effect to go along with this. Like we need a doot 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 doot, and then shoo. So I think I'm gonna work on the shoo first. All right, this is saved. This is loaded. And I can work on this. Okay, so now sound effect. '63. Okay, I guess I'll start at '63 and work my way back. Okay, and then I probably want noise. Ah, sorry about that one. Yeah, there we go, something like that. No. Oh, okay, that's a problem. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so we got that. It goes. Okay, so that's good. So that's sound effect 63. SFX 63. All right, and then now this is if oh, I can't edit it here because I have to save it first over here. $63. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Yep. There we go. All right, so now we need a little doot, 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 doot. All right, save that. Oh, this file has been changed since reading. Do you really want to write to it? No, I don't want to write to it. Okay, save that, and then probably edit this. Okay, now write. Okay, there we go. Now we can load, and then 63. Now we want a little like walking sound, like doot, doot. So it's gonna like, and then immediately drop off. It's always like loud, and I always have to apologize. So I'm sorry again. Saw organ. Maybe it's organ. I don't know. Yeah, there we go. It's almost there. I don't think it's noise. Yeah, no. No. Yeah, there we go. All right, that's really good. That's really close, except it goes a little bit too high pitch. It's gotta be something that you want to hear over and over again. Okay, I think that's good. 62. All right, save that. This. and then else SFX62. That's it. All right, so now we just need a dash meter that refills your dashes. So you don't just dash all the way to the end. And then you make it to the green, and you're done. And then you got to do the same thing over here as well. This one has been all taken care of. Very simple. Go on a grid. Oh, I got to block you from going past the edge. I should write that down also. Oh, and then over here, apparently I didn't fill the bottom in. Okay, so that's got to get filled in. All right, time for some to-dos. To level. Okay, here we go. To level. Okay. All right, so then I got to handle the dash jump mechanic in the second level also. But handle to do. Okay. Max x max min x and y values. And then the other one I could probably fix right now. Which is the map. There's some issue with the map. All right, so it looks like there was two at the bottom, two rows at the bottom that were missing. So I got to go over here, select this, select that, and then fill them in. And see if that solves the issue. prevent the person from going too far to the right also. And is it still going? Oh, it's still going. Add some obstacles in there. I guess that would be a good idea also. Okay, so that part is solved. Okay, all right, this looks like a mess, so let's try to clean this up a little bit. Okay. There we go. No. No rate since last change. Well, has changed. Oh, I see. All right. So let's write this out to jump changed. Dimensional jump PICO8, dimensional jump PICO8 changed. All right, so it looks like it's just the white space changes. So I think, oh no, wait, it's these changes also. And that's from dimensional jump, that one. So I'm gonna quit it. There we go. And then I can redo this. All right, so then we wanted to do like the max right. You can't go more than, can't go too far out, forward. Okay. So if, well, so the problem is, how do you know how far out you actually are? You get the start position, the end position, the player position. You have, all right, so it's the player position, but you have some idea of how, of where the screen is. I guess we could do the same calculation that we're doing down here with space plus I10 self t, that one. We could probably have like location on screen with this. Player screen location. You call that. And then set if count equals player position, you have dash x. That's a local value. Player screen position. player screen position. So if you got player screen position over here, then where do we want to put, hang on. We got player screen position here. Okay. So if you're over here, player screen position equals x2, let's say. Okay, so if self values and self time false and self dot player screen position is less than 128. Let's take it up a little bit past 120. Let's do like 130, just to be on the safe side, because give them a little bit of leeway towards the right of the screen. Even though they'll be like technically past the screen, they can still see it. Okay. Oh, end right there. Yeah, there we go. So actually, since we're doing, we could probably do x1 then over here, which I'm not sure why we're using -x, but it's kind of working. So let's just do that for right now and see. Could always remove it later if we run out of space. Yeah, the other one was better. Yeah, let's go back to x2. Because then you're stuck and you can't see why you're stuck if you're past this, past that section of the screen. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so now we need a couple of things. We need to limit the number of dash jumps that you could do. And then we need a timer for regenerating the dash jumps. So is that the first sequence gameplay for 0 dimensions? No, this is the, thank you for the question, Tactile Dactyl. This is the second sequence, numerical order, or the first sequence. Yes, for the 0 dimension. The first sequence is actually, or the 0th sequence, the one that comes when you start. I mean, the game is going to be like a game of off by 1 errors. This is the 0 level. So the 0 level, what can you do in the 0 dimension? You've got a single dot on the screen. That's it. That's all you have. So you can't move in any direction. So the only thing I could think of was a beat game. So so here is the 0 dimension. So funny thing about the title screen first, before I get started on that, is if you have a pair of red and blue 3D glasses, I have them, but I think they're somewhere else. I'll get them for next time. But this actually appears coming out of the screen in 3D. It's pretty cool. All right, so that's the 0 dimension, and then it's going to be a beat game. That was just kind of like the proof of concept that I used for that. All right, and then this is the one, this is the first dimension. Eventually, we'll get there for the one dimension. Then the two dimension is played on a grid, which is you can see over here. So you can move up, down, left, right. So you can move in two dimensions, up, down, left, right. And then we'll go to the third dimension, which is, I think it's in 3D_2. I have not run this in a long time. 3D. So I'm not even sure if this is going to work. Okay, yeah, so this is the third dimension where it's, and then you can go up, down, left, right, but then you can also go into the screen. And this one I have to work on a little bit because the transition between coming from like the second row and coming back over, and either you have to find something in here or you have to search. I'm not sure about what the gameplay is going to be yet. You know, and then yeah, then you can go, and it's kind of weird because you have to like go through the level, like through the next, and then that is like super janky. So that has to be worked on. This is the only thing that I have. But if you move really super fast, it looks like you're actually in 3D. And this is done. There's no like 3D engine. It's a bunch of it's a bunch of squares. Um, um, it's a bunch of squares with lines connected, kind of like you're drawing on a piece of paper, and then you can see like into the distance. And I think the last level, so there's like three. I tried to draw like three separate sections of squares. The first one and then the second one, and then the last one is actually just dots where they're like, oh, they're all the way in the distance. So that was it. And then you're gonna go into the screen in that one. There'll be stuff around. There'll be like some like title thing up there, and then somewhere else. I'm motioning with my hands and I'm pointing to the screen, but oh, I can't show you with the mouse is on there. But imagine I'm pointing to the screen above there, and then there'll be some tiles and stuff like that up there, or like some like titles. So that's the third level. I haven't incorporated that in yet because I wanted to get the other gameplay squared away. That all that took 1450 tokens out of the 8,000. So eventually, at some point, I'm gonna have to combine them to do that. So I'm okay right now, but I gotta add in a whole bunch of other stuff in there first. So oh yeah, that's right. I was gonna put a to do somewhere. I think. So there was the self player screen position. Thanks for the question. Yeah, it was awesome getting to show that off. Self player screen position. Okay, so that was the going up to the edge. So that one worked. Sorry, recharge. I don't know if I can put a comment right in the middle of over here, so I'm going to put it up here. So this is max dash to do recharge. And then what time is it? 11. I probably have a minute to. I probably have a minute to do a max max min x and y value. But before I do that, I want to advance to the second level first as soon as it starts. So it says level default 0. So if I do this at 2, it should start off at level 2. So I can just work on level 2 without having to wait. I think. Unless I forgot to load. Yeah, I forgot to load. Okay, load. 2 level draw. 2 level, a nil value. Let's do the stage transition. Draw transition. Reset to next stage. Okay, here we go. If level equals 1, then level equals 2. Okay, level 1. Hey, what's going on? Zachariah is cool. What's up? Okay, so that starts off at the second level. So then I can max this. Okay, so to do... Okay, player position X, player position Y. If self dot player position X is greater than 128. Actually, I could probably do this. Self dot player position X equals 128. And then do the same thing for Y. X, replace it with Y. And then 0. Do the same thing over here for 0. 128, replace it with 0. All right. What kind of game are we making? Zachariah is cool asks. I'm making a game called Dimensional Jump. It's going to be the journey between the 0th dimension and the 3rd dimension. So you go 0, and then you go to a 0D game, and then a 1D game, then a 2D game, and then eventually a 3D game. If I have space, enough space to fit it all in. That's what I'm attempting to do. So the first level, hang on, let me, I have to undo the stage transition. Level, there we go. Okay, this is the title screen. I'm going for the 3D effect. So if you have like blue, red 3D glasses, it kind of looks like it's jumping out of the screen. Kind of like an Easter egg, a physical Easter egg that exists in the physical world. And then this is the 0D game. It's a beat game. And that's all you have. It's just a single flashing dot or a single flashing square on the screen. And then this is the 1D game. You can only travel in a single dimension. Actually, it's even more limited because you can't even go backwards. And if you go past the edge, I don't know, you die or something, and then you have to like start over from the beginning. And then and then I accidentally pressed the escape button, so you have to watch the entire thing over again. I found it really simple. I found it like extremely simple to use because you just draw like to the screen, and it kind of does what you tell it to do. It's you do have to. Okay, so now I broke the set 2D. Now I broke 2D. So that's the 2D, and then eventually you get to the 3D. Uh, there we go. And then this is the 3D level, which I have to incorporate into the rest of the game. Okay, let me unbreak this. But that's basically the entire game. And it's going to be like a journey between all the different levels. Cool. Thanks, trippy. I mean, it's better than boring, so that's I'll take that as a compliment. Thanks. Um, my my friend uses Godot, and uh, he likes it a lot. Okay, so now I'm back to broken. Okay, so if the problem probably is that if it's greater than 128, it's gonna be if it's less than 0. That's the problem. Eventually, I'll go back and work on the 0D level. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. There's this one YouTube tutorial that showed how to make a game that was very simple, and I liked it a lot. And I started working on it, and then I didn't have any game ideas at the time, and then I was like, well, I think my daughter might like to start, making a game because she's really into playing games, and maybe she wants to make a game. And I showed her the editor, and she instantly started like drawing stuff in here, and she liked it a lot. And then she'd ask me to make it with her. So then I like told her what to type in and everything, and she drew the map and the sound editor and the music editor, and then eventually she got the whole game done. Um, uh, but then she lost interest and started doing other stuff. But then working with her, I finally like had game ideas. I'd never had a game idea before. Then I started having game ideas with her. So I I eventually started making a game, and I was like, oh, I like making games. And then I'd go on Twitch and stream making games, and then my friends would come on and be like, uh, maybe do this or maybe do that, and they'd give me a whole bunch of pointers. And I honestly couldn't have made the previous game that I made without them. And like just getting the real time feedback was really helpful, and it kind of um, allowed me to finish it. So yeah, it's yeah, PICO8. It's the only game engine that I've used so far, so I'm looking forward to using others as well. All right, so if the player position X is greater than 128, it's less than 0. He doesn't seem to be respecting it, though, for some reason. Unless this has to be self now that we're referring to it after it's initially defined. Oh, no, but you're passing in self into the function. So that wouldn't make sense. Yeah, my friend says great things about Godot. I haven't tried any others yet. I might in the future. The next one I want to try is Love 2D, and then we'll see after that. Because it's also written in Lua, so I can kind of use a lot of the stuff that I've really learned for that one. But we'll see if I have a resource who uses it. So I'm familiar. I just haven't tried it out yet. I've also heard of Game Maker. Some people that I've talked to like Game Maker or Game Maker Studio, I think it's called. They like that one a lot. All right. Self.player position X greater than 128. Yeah. So this one, if I understand what's going on correctly, I should try this. Load that. Run this. Okay. Okay, so now it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1. Okay, so that does work. It just has to be less than 128 because I feel like you're disappearing. You have no idea when you're going to come back off the edge. You shouldn't be able to. The white square should stop over there. So the only other PICO8 game I made was called Raindrop, and it was a pretty long game. It took like 20 minutes to a half an hour to complete, but it was also, I mean, I don't know, it got tedious after a while. So I'm looking for something a little bit tighter, something a little bit with a little bit more action. This is it. Each one of those little raindrops is an object. Music, designed by us. And you play. Oh, okay. Hang on. This is kind of loud for me. Hang on 1 second. Hang on. I'm just trying to get the audio level right. Okay. I don't know if that's too loud or... But there's 2 different volume controls. Thanks. Thank you. So this is, you play a particle in the upper atmosphere, and you collect water molecules. The water molecules are dancing around due to Brownian motion. Just like in the upper atmosphere, I had to do a lot of research. Well, not a lot of research. I had to do some amount of research to determine how rain behaves and like what the physics and mechanics of rain were. And then as you gain water and as you get heavier, you're able to move faster, and that's because you're able to overcome air resistance, or the raindrop as it gets bigger is able to overcome air resistance. So that's difference between like this game and a lot of other games is the bigger you are, the slower you are. This one, the bigger you are, the faster you are, because raindrops are able to overcome air resistance and collect, and then I continue and you collect more and more droplets. And then you have a score over there, and then the blue bar is the altimeter, how far away you are from the ground, or your goal, which is to water the grass, because eventually rain falls. Eventually we're going to run into enemies though, and the bigger you are, the harder it is to dodge the enemies, and that was one of the enemies right there. It was a drone. And what actually, oh no, and then I got hit. It's actually based off of Blade Runner. Imagine if every single drop of rain in the movie Blade Runner, both of them, had a story just dedicated to it. That would be this one. But in order to make it to the end, I have to enter the Konami code. Up, down, down, left, right. Alright, the Konami code gives you infinite rain, or we called it the Manami code, but it turns all of the power-ups into evil green acid raindrops. And then this is the... there you go, and if it hits you, you go up, you get up higher. And then, as you can see, we're entering the... Okay, good night. See ya. Dimensional jump. Okay, so let's go and get back to getting the limiting it. So 128 was too high. Load dimensional jump. Okay. All right, 128 was too high, so let's go to the 120 then. Right? If it's greater than 120, it equals 120. And then this one will do less than 8. If it's less than 8, it equal 8. So, because maybe that's where it's going, and maybe that'll like give the illusion that there's a wall over there. Nope. Okay. So now we just disappear after a certain number, which is weird. Okay, so I probably have to debug like where this position is, if I'm able to. Okay, so position, start position, player position. Oh, what's the difference between start position and player position? Unless start position doesn't have any. No, start position doesn't look like it's used. Start pause X. Nope. So these two aren't used. We could just start over there. So everything is about player position. It looks like it's 112. Oh, okay. If it's greater than 112, then? All right, I'm gonna try this, and then if this doesn't work, and that one looks like, it looks like 0, but if it's less than 8, we probably want to do that. So I don't know. So the first thing I'm gonna try. Okay. Let's try printing this out. Print. Oh, okay, and I'm not sure I can print that out over there, but I can't print it over here. Print player pause x dot dot. I believe it's like this. Self dot player pause x. And then what is it? It's like 0, 6, and 7. X position, or like Y position, X position, and then color that you want the text to be. Oh, and then this has to be self.player pause. Pause X. X, replace it with Y. And then put this one at 12. Okay. All right, let's take a look. Okay. Now the desktop audio was too low for this one. Okay, so 112 and 8. Oh, that's weird. So what is it? It's like 254, 255. So what it's gotta be? It's gotta be like 256 or something. $256. And this one, I'm probably gonna do probably reset this one back to 0. Oh, it's not even a grid. So okay, so this makes perfect sense. Okay, so 112 is the minimum value over here. So if it's less than 112 in the x direction, then it equals 112. All right, and then if it is greater than 127, in the x direction, sometimes just got to print it out. It's greater than 127. Okay, and now in the y direction, okay, so the y direction, it is 0. So that equals, that is correct. If it's less than, but in the top end of the y direction is 15. And the reason why I probably did it that way, I'm not sure about the 112 or anything, but that is probably based on how many squares that I have on the playing field. How many squares I can fit on the screen. All right. So let's see if that works now. Okay, well that one didn't work. Let's go this way. Okay, that one doesn't work either. Oh, that's weird. It allows you to go through there, but then when you go back, it subtracts one. That's weird. Okay, and then if we go down all the way, yeah, and it disappears. That's pretty strange. Ah, it's because of the player. It's because of the previous value. The previous value is actually it's not moving. I see. So player previous value has to be set as well for each one of those things. Okay, then if place self-player, then self-player post X that, and then the previous has to equal the same thing. So that's the other thing I was thinking with this thing is if it goes above over there, then you have to set this backwards. Like it's the same line over and over again. I'm not sure why I had to put it there for each individual one, and I couldn't just blanket put it up, but I wasn't able to for some reason. And then I was like, all right, well, if I get low on space, then I'll revisit that. Yeah, so the problem is that this one is illuminating. And it has to conditionally illuminate. So if player pose X is greater than 127, actually it has to be less than 127, and player X has to be greater than 112, and player pose Y has to be greater than 0, and player pose Y has to be less than 15. And I think these two have to be reversed in order to make sense. All right, let's see if that works. All right, well, now we got to know which one 254 is and which one 255 is. 255 is that one. So this has to be reversed. Okay, not exactly what I was going for. So that's setting the previous value. If it's less than, yeah, it's setting the previous value. We do want to set the previous value if you're going up or down. We don't want to set the previous value if you're going past the edge of the screen. We don't want to let you go past the edge of the screen in general, but we do want to be able to track you. We don't want to go past the edge of the screen. So how do we do this? We could put both of them inside of the of this thing. So that doesn't seem to work either. And I don't think setting it equal to like going one past, I'm not sure if that would work either, because then I feel like you'd be left with the same issue of the player disappearing. So currently you're blocked, and you could see that, but it doesn't erase one of the others if you're on the wall, or if you're one behind the wall. So this one would limit you there, but it wouldn't draw it. This one is going to prevent it from being drawn over there. Unless we want one above. Something like this. If it's greater than 128, then it kind of moves you back. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's the same issue. All right, so that doesn't work. So this is like on the right track, but you're hitting the wall. Yeah, on the right track, but it hits against the wall and then it doesn't go past it. And the up-down motion is unless these previous values have to be filled in as well. In which case, I would have to figure out how to do something, because that's a lot of tokens for, like, holding on to previous values. If it's less than 112, then it equals 112. It's 113. It's not less than 112. But then 113 is not. All right, so now you're at 113, 14. If it's greater than 112. So this is inclusive then, because these are the bounds. So I just need a whole bunch of equal signs around there. That's it. Oh, almost. Oh, okay, and then it jumps forward the same way. So maybe this needs the same treatment. Equals. Wow, that's weird. All right, strange behavior. Yeah, that I guess that doesn't make sense over there that way. Ah, okay. This is another thing that is probably messing it up as well. The previous value should always be calculated before you do the reassignment. Otherwise, it's not the previous value. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is the previous value over here, erasing it, might need to be outside of that if statement. But first I'm going to try that, see if it does anything different. And then I'm going to try doing the other one also. That's it. That's the wall. That's the bounds. I cannot go past over here. And now I'm completely bounded and trapped into this playing grid. That's it. That's the solution. Okay. So I guess next time, make, all right, so for the first thing I could do, get rid of these print statements. Second thing is make the add the dash jump mechanic for this level, add the sound effects, and do the whole treatment that was on the last level for this one. In addition, make it challenging somehow. And make the previous level, do additional things over there in the previous level. Okay. All right. So added
or add sound effects dash jump 1D, and then bounds 2D. And then the sound effects for 1D. But I might be using the same sound effects for 2 because, you know, same sound. All right. And I think that's it for until next time. Thanks for tuning in. Does anybody want to go to, let's see, Wonderville? Wonderville, New York City. You know what? Check it out if you don't like it, you know. But you might. It's this video game bar in New York. All right. I'll I'll see you later. Bye.